Hey everybody, Brandon from the Today's Good. It's been a little while since I've done a video. Just got a little preoccupied with work and other things going on, but also just took a little break from kind of focusing on a lot of things that I maybe didn't need to be focusing on and focused on the things I did need to. So my next one is something I put a little thought into, trying to choose what I was going to do next and what maybe was going to be beneficial to the few listeners we've had lately. And I've covered a lot of bases, I guess, when it comes to addiction, and I've covered a lot of bases when it comes to recovery, maybe things that have helped people, that haven't helped people, things that make sense to people, but it's not going to make sense to everybody. It's definitely, everybody's story is different, everybody's recovery is different, and everybody's trauma is different. But so going into what I kind of want to talk about today is the ability to act without emotion. I think a big part of where maybe my embarrassment comes from, or where a lot of my regret comes from, is I had a lot of emotion. I've had it still. I'd be lying to you if I said I don't still struggle, and probably struggle on a daily basis when it comes to custody and divorce and juggling a home and juggling everything else. I mean, there's definitely been a lot of change for me, and a lot of, like I said, I'd be lying if I didn't say that maybe there's some struggle. So there's a ton of emotion that I have gone through, and I the last 2 years, good emotions, bad emotions, happy, sad, they're all over the board. I mean, when I say all over the board, they are from top to bottom. And I can honestly say recently, kind of where I've gotten, what I'm doing, having my place, moving on with life, getting back to the old Brandon has really been the top of that spectrum for sure, 100%. I mean, right now I'm sitting in a place much better than I have in a long time. But like I said, when it comes to emotion, I have a lot of embarrassment, I have a lot of regret, I have a lot of hurt, but I also have a lot of remorse. I have a lot of pain I feel inside of me because of things maybe I did, said, based on the fact that I've had so many emotions with everything going on that it is so hard to process those emotions and how to act accordingly, I guess, and what would be the right way to act with those emotions. And unfortunately, like I said, I've acted in a negative way many times. Things that have affected other people, things that have affected my family, things that have affected my life, just a lot of things. I mean, honestly, it has affected everything. I have really learned to control those emotions. I've really learned how to not make actions out of those emotions, but I also don't have a lot of the emotions that cause my negative actions and things at this point in time. Like, I have really worked through those things, but I can tell you, like, the biggest ones I struggled with was heartbreak, anger. Those are two really big ones, but almost more of just upsetment. I was upset. I was upset that I had an idea of what life was going to be, where life was going, and it didn't obviously go that way. I've lost I keep going back to I've lost a lot of things, but I've noticed a lot in the last week, talking to friends and talking to people after work and just whatnot. I've brought up the loss of my stepdaughters a lot, and it's obviously not something I'm meaning to do, and that is a really big, heavy hole inside of me that I try to control those emotions and try to filter those, and like I've talked about in the past, is kind of coming at peace with that, because I can only control what I can control. But I unfortunately, through the last year and a half, I've made a lot of poor decisions that have affected myself, but I don't think that's where I carry the heaviest heart. I truly, yeah, I'm embarrassed. Yeah, I want to kick myself in the ass. Yeah, I still can't even figure out how I got to where I was or what, like, how did it even happen? It happened so fast. But I think the biggest, 100% the biggest, is the fact that I am embarrassed and I'm hurt and I'm angry and so many emotions, like we're talking about, to the things that I've done to people. And that's a big, wide spectrum. I hurt people. I made people that loved me watch me go through what I went through. I turned my back on people. Unfortunately, there was a period of time where there really wasn't any positive effects I had on people. And that's really depressing to me because I built, up until all of this, my life around helping people, picking people up, inspiring people. And I got to a point where like I said, I don't know if I had any positive effects anywhere on anyone. But as I look back at like these actions that I made out of emotion that I couldn't obviously control, I couldn't process, I wasn't strong enough to at the time, I didn't know how to at the time. It's hard to even say what I want to say because it's so, I guess, bizarre to me that I'm feeling this way at this point in time, but I feel like I have so much sorry to say. I have so much, I truly have so many apologies. I've apologized to so many people. But there's so many apologies that I've also realized that I've missed and I've not addressed. And I don't know if it's because I don't want to address, I don't know how to address, but I also have pain because some of my sorries are people that I never thought would leave my life and I haven't heard from since I came home from treatment. Today's the 10th, so we got 6 more days and then 11 months sober. So 11 months sober, 10, technically 9 months home from treatment. But if I think if I had maybe heard from some of the people that I thought maybe it would have been uplifting on the backside, and people that would have been there, and people that I never in a million years wouldn't be there for, I would have probably accomplished a lot more sorries if those people were around because the opportunity would have presented itself. But also, I don't know how bad I owe some of those people an apology because, truly, when it comes to me and these people that I'm talking about, they're important enough to me that no matter what, if they were going through this, they went through addiction, I would be there. There's no way I would be anywhere else because I, now going through it, I guess, really, really understand when you're in a place where I was, you truly need people. You truly need inspiration, the goods, and unfortunately, like I said, not that I didn't have good, I had tons of good around me, but there's just a lot of missing pieces that I really, as I look back and maybe as I sat in treatment, that I thought were going to be on that other side when I got there. So, but when I say apologies and I address apologies, I truly haven't apologized as a whole. I've apologized for maybe like in little things, ins, outs, whatever, and maybe, as kind of just saying, I'm sorry to my family and whatever, but I truly think there's a lot of people that need to hear I'm sorry that I don't even know that need to hear that. Like, what for whatever reason, and like I kind of said a little bit ago, is it because I hurt them? Is it because I did something negative to affect them? Is it because they had to watch me go through that? Is it because like I said, there's a lot of things that um, I'm sorry for, and there's a lot of different ways I could go with that. But as a whole, I'm sorry, and there is people that have really affected me negatively, and really have no sort of desire for my best interest, or didn't have desire to do the things that were best for me, or to whatever. But um, I'm sorry. I'll say it flat out. I'm sorry to my ex-wife. I'm sorry that I made negative decisions based out of emotions that really I didn't know what to do with. And there was a lot of emotions for a lot of different reasons, but I I made mistakes. I truly made a lot of decisions based out of spite, anger, hurt. And like I said, my inability to understand my emotions and how to process those, and how to handle them in a way that didn't hurt my wife and my family and stepdaughters. And I, I'm sorry to my stepdaughters. I'm sorry I'm no longer there because things didn't work out. And I will 100%. I've got ownership in that. I've got a piece in that. I definitely didn't do for a while a lot of things that I deserved to be there. But also, there's a place that I was in that I don't know if I could have been there in the long run either way, because of how things were going to go no matter what. And like I said, I'm sorry, Ashley. I'm sorry, Harper. I'm sorry, Hallie. And I'm truly sorry to Kaden that I have made a lot of these actions and use and things that affected your guys' life negatively that I did. And I didn't even probably process I was doing it because I had so much going on in my head. I had so much, here it is, emotion. The emotions were highs, lows, everywhere, and they were all over the board. And it took me going away for 35 days to treatment to really have that ability to slow down and to process a lot of emotions. And I can tell you right now, when I got out of treatment, they weren't all gone. And I was not anywhere near as ready for probably the world as I thought I was. I truly thought, I had a good grasp on my emotions and actions off of those emotions. But unfortunately, right out of treatment, a lot of emotion coming home was in a hurry, and a lot of things there was a lot. And I still made not use choices. Obviously, I've been sober since before treatment, but actions that I did things that were not right. And definitely, like I said, I've made negative effects on my family. And when I say my family, I mean extended family, my parents, my brothers, my sisters, my aunts, uncles, whatever, but not just my family. What I came home to and called my family every day. And it breaks my heart to know I don't have that anymore. And like I said, use or no use, unfortunately, that probably was never going to continue to be a thing anyways. But I've got skin there. I've got skin in that game. And I don't know if because I'm carrying this heavy heart of really swallowing that, maybe I could have done things differently. Maybe I could have tried harder. And I don't know if I could have. But that's something I don't know if I could ever answer, because truly, I don't know if I could have given any more of myself. I literally almost gave it all. Literally it all. My life for a situation that I was, even the strong person I was and the positive person I was not capable of handling. But I had a big heart. I do have a big heart. I've always had a big heart. And like Sam says, go back a couple episodes to our episode. The people with the biggest hearts carry I don't even remember how he said it. The people with the biggest hearts usually have the deepest scars, or something like that. It's something along those lines, and it's true. Being the big-hearted person I was, brought a lot of emotion maybe into the situation that not all people would bring into it, because I get so heavily invested and I get so emotionally invested and I just care for people. But this last week's been tough. Like I said, I'd be lying if I didn't say I don't still struggle daily, but this week's been tough on me for the fact of how sorry I am for the kids. And Kate and I are going to develop one heck of a life together, and we're going to have a ton of great things coming for us and great memories and stuff. But unfortunately, the girls are gone. My girls are gone. And like I said, I don't know what I could have done to change that, or if I could have even, but I'm sorry for every piece of that I played. And every piece of things that maybe I didn't even play, but I maybe fed into that I shouldn't have fed into, and things that continued because I allowed them to continue too. But I still struggle with this, and this was actually a big piece of my trauma going into treatment, is swallowing the fact that I don't get to watch them grow up anymore. And I loved those girls to death. I still do. Up until Caden was born, they were the best things that ever happened to me. Well, helping raise them and being a role model and an inspiration and being a positive influence in their life was the best thing that had ever happened to me. And I want them to hopefully someday know that. I'm not a bad person. Never was I a bad person. I can truly say that because I know how hard I've worked to be a good person. Did I make a lot of poor decisions that temporarily did make me a bad person? Yeah, I can give you that, I guess, but I'm not a bad person. Was I maybe for a while? Yeah. But as a whole and truly deep inside, and who I am and who I've ensured to create myself into, which was lost for a while, I'm a good person. And I know those girls know that. I know that they know. Like I said, and it's okay for things like this to continue to come up, because unfortunately, that's a big, obviously, if it's still a thing and affecting me to this point, that it's a huge piece of life that I've really had a hard time with. The hardest time with any of it. Harder than my recovery. Harder than staying sober. Harder than not having triggers. Harder than losing a wife. Harder than... It's bigger. Losing those girls is bigger than any of it. Harder than any piece of it. You know, recovery is not easy, and I mean, for me, like I said, when I chose to do it, I did it, and it was fairly easy for me because I wanted it, and I know who I can be, and I know I don't want to be that, and I know what I need to be for Caden, but I don't even know where I was going with that. Like I said, I'll be honest, this is really emotional for me, but what I kind of want to lead this into is don't act out of emotion. And I think it's very crucial to find a way to address the emotions in your head and to understand the emotions you're having and the emotions at the time, whatever. How do you do that? How do you slow, especially in a crazy chaos situation that I've lived, how do you slow life down enough to be able to process that? Now for me, sometimes I stop myself and I just start writing them down. I start pulling what I'm feeling out of my head and I write it down. And I've got tricks and tips and things that I've learned learned through all of this, that I know how to handle those emotions. I know how to direct those emotions. I know how, maybe it's not hey, they're gone. It's maybe I redirect them. Maybe I just put them somewhere that it's not affecting me day to day, and that's key. Well, it does affect me day to day, I guess, but negatively. I find a way to build it into a positive thing throughout my day. Is it memories of times with the girls, memories of Caden being real little? Is it memories of just who I was and what I was doing before all this? I was successful at a young age. I knew, I I was inspirational to people. I truly believe I was a good person, and I have to remind myself that, and I use that to bring my day up, because when I remember who I was, and I remember how proud of who I was, it gives me something to look forward to continue to chase. And like I said, I'm that person. I'm still here. I'm still there, and I think when I say chase, it's not like I'm behind what I was. It's the fact that you can always be a better person. You can always make better decisions. You can always be better. And I've truly always believed that. And that's kind of like what we talked about in the very beginning in the first podcast with Sam, was setting little goals within the big goals to accomplish your goals. Same thing. Have the outlook that you can always be better, and do the little things. Do the little things in life every day that make you feel like you've taken a step closer, or you just, is it helping someone? Is it the way your house is cleaned up? Is it making the bed? Is it how successful you're being at work? How on top of things you are? There's so many different things that you can use, and there's going to be negatives in every day, but you've got to find a way to put those positives on top. And when you can put those positives on top, it brings positive emotions. And when you have positive emotions, you make good actions. You make good choices because you want to. And good things lead to, that's what they lead to. But when you let the negative emotions, and you let the anger, the stress, the heartbreak, those things be a majority of your day, like I said, they're not living proof. They're not going to go away. They maybe, definitely parts of them will at some point, but I can tell you right now, heartbreak of losing those girls and missing this time and missing the rest of time, possibly, that's never going to go away from me. And I've accepted that, and I know that, and I've just had to learn how to channel that. But you can't let those be the majority of your day, because you're going to get to the point where you have negative mindset, negative emotions, and then negative actions come from that, or definitely it sways you from chasing that better person. So I'm going to cut this short, but a big thing for me is focus on your emotions. Slow yourself down before you're making decisions and actions and saying things to somebody or whatever. Slow yourself down. Concentrate on doing that and not acting out of the negative emotion. Try to flip it, try to redirect it, and make that action out of a positive emotion. And I can tell you right now, life gets better so quickly when you can do that. Because when you're making decisions out of those negative emotions, it spirals pretty downward. It's a downward spiral pretty quick. Or, to be honest with you, one positive thing, you're already moving forward. One positive action or one positive reaction to those emotions, you're already moving forward. So it's such an easy thing. You can do it one time a day, that's one. But you do it 2 times tomorrow, you do it 3 times the next day. The next thing you know, you feel like you're on top of the world from where you were. And I feel that way. I am so happy to be where I am. And you know what? To all the people that aren't here, and the people that maybe I thought at the beginning were going to be here, and to all the people that hurt me, here I am. I'm Brandon, and I'm going to continue to be Brandon. And I'm going to continue to be that Brandon that I've chased for years. And unfortunately, you're not going to be a part of it, and I'd love for all of you to be a part of it. I would have loved for my marriage to work. I would have loved for the girls to be there. I would have loved for a lot of the friends I'm missing to still be there and be a part of what's to come for me in the future and come for Caden. But you know what? If you're not, you're not. Because guess what? I'm going to do it either way. And the people that should be there are going to be there. The people that want to be there are going to be there. But anyways, to kind of off that, but I want to say, like I said, sorry. Sorry to anybody who needs to hear it. Sorry to my buddy that I missed his wedding because I was at treatment. Sorry to my friend I was supposed to marry last year because I missed it, didn't end up being the minister, all because of my use. Sorry to friends that I betrayed, friends that I made actions that I still probably don't even remember that affected their lives negatively. And you know what? All I can say is I'm sorry, and I am. But you know what? I'm sorry, Harper and Hallie. And I'm sorry, Katie. Because you three are the key to life. And I can promise you from here forward, whether the girls are there or not, or these people are there or not, just know I'm making the right decisions. Just know I'm moving forward. Just know Brandon's back. I have a really good friend of mine, love her to death, Cassie Matthews. She worked with me at Dave Wright, and she honestly was kind of my little right-hand man. She was in my office when I was running the service department up there, and girl did a lot for me. But we've always been close since we worked together. We've always clicked well. The laughter, the taking care of each other, we care for each other, and we've had a lot of hours together. Let me tell you. But today she sent me a message that really made me feel good, and what we were talking about was the fact that I'm coming up on my 11 months, and I sent her a picture of me from a year ago, and I can try to see if I can show it to you on my phone here, but I don't know how well you'll see it. But this picture really smacked me in the face the other day when a friend of mine posted it, because it truly, truly shows the difference. And it doesn't show the difference, obviously, mentally, but I can tell you right now, I'm in a whole different place when you see this picture, and you definitely don't doubt the sobriety when you see this picture and the difference of what I look like now and the weight I've put on, and I'm back to Big Brandon, and I'm all right with that. But that's where I'm kind of going with this. Let me show you this picture, and then I'll finish what I'm saying here. But hold on. So this is my friend Ashley Bating, love her to death, one of the best girls in the world, but here's the picture she posted. That's right, folks. A lot of you didn't get to see me through the eye addiction because I kind of secluded, but a little closer. Look at that. I don't even look like me. Definitely don't look like me from before, and I definitely don't look like me now. But I told her, I said, it sucks because I lost a lot of weight, which I didn't need to lose that much weight, but I felt good on a weight spectrum, and I've put a lot of weight back on, and that's been kind of one thing that I've had to be okay with and whatnot, because I know that's me being happy and healthy. And when I say healthy, yeah, maybe I'm overweight, but it's healthy and definitely healthier than where I was. But when I sent her that and I said, the weight sucks, is kind of what I said, she said back to me, but that's the Brandon I love. Man, it was a feel good. It's not just the physical spectrum, but when she sees that physical side, and we've had plenty of conversations, and she knows where I'm at mentally. It's really good to hear her say, the Brandon I am now is the Brandon she loves, because it makes me feel like I am in a place where I was before all this, and I truly, like most days, I do feel that way. And it was nice to have that reassurance. And you know what? I'm all right with being overweight, because guess what? At this point in time, it means happy, healthy, good decisions, and I'm a lot stronger. I keep saying that person I was before. I'm much stronger, and I am much more wise at this point. I definitely have learned a lot through this, and I definitely will continue to use those things that I have learned through this to navigate the rest of my life and to put me where I'm wanting to be and where I'm going to end up and where I deserve to end up. Because I deserve to be in a good place, and I truly believe that. Because I've worked for it. A 10-month slip up, a shitty divorce, a horrible situation shouldn't take that from me. Especially the effort and the time and the energy and the everything to get where I was. It's not going to take that from me. It did. But here I am, I'm back. But it's all because I have learned to deal with my emotions, make positive decisions with good emotions, and not make poor decisions with bad emotions. So, like I said, focus on your emotions, make that a priority, and I can tell you, you're going to feel steps forward. Love you all. Like I said, shout out Cassie, love you. Thank you for that today. It meant a lot. It kind of inspired me to do this video to begin with, but have a good night, everybody. Love you. Thank you.